The court-appointed Special Advocates Program, or CASA, trains and supervises volunteers who advocate for the best interest of abused and neglected children. CASA volunteers help to ensure that children who are in the throes of abuse, neglect, and trauma have a safe and permanent home. CASA is recruiting and training new volunteers, and here to tell us more is Sammi Rader, CASA Director. Good morning and welcome back.
Good morning.
So for those who are unfamiliar with CASA and what they do, tell us a little bit more.
So CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and locally we are appointed by judges to serve children in our area who may be in foster care and experiencing abuse and neglect.
And so what does volunteering for CASA entail?
CASA volunteers are required to go through 35 hours of training. It is an 8-week course. And once they receive their training, then they are assigned to a case where they are appointed to by a judge. And they are our information gatherers. So they work with our local professionals such as teachers, social workers, attorneys to really get information about what that child is experiencing so they can advocate for that child's best interest in court. Our volunteers provide court reports to our judges, and we stay in contact with the families, and we just provide support for that child. Like I said, we are their advocate. We are their voice in court.
I can only imagine, as the director, you see and hear so many compelling and heartfelt stories. What kind of impact can a CASA have on a child's life?
A CASA volunteer is a unique volunteering opportunity because we really do have this special bond with this child that may have underwent some serious trauma, and we provide stability for that child. Oftentimes they see social workers, doctors, so many people come and go, but a CASA is a stable person in that child's life for up to 18 months, as long as they're in the foster care system. And we are mentoring these children. We are making sure that they are safe and that they are in a permanent safe home.
Sure. Someone may be watching right now and thinking, this is something I can do and wonder if I'm qualified or am I able to do this? Describe to us who makes a perfect CASA volunteer.
Well, CASA, again, is unique because a CASA volunteer can be anyone. We have retired teachers, we have people who work full time, and it's not a very long time commitment. CASA volunteers usually spend anywhere from 5 to 20 hours a month, and we are currently recruiting. We need dedicated men and women to really serve as volunteers and look out for these children's best interests.
What would you say is the time commitment for anyone that might be thinking about being a volunteer?
So a case can be in foster care for up to 18 months, and usually volunteers will spend anywhere from 5 to 20 hours on a case. Typically at the beginning of a case, that's where you're putting in a lot of work, you're gathering your information. And CASA volunteers provide support by attending court hearings, they attend home visits, and then we have weekly partnership meetings with certain professionals. And so it can vary, but it is dependent on each individual case.
For anyone that is interested in being a CASA volunteer, or perhaps they can't volunteer but they want to support what you all do, how does one go about doing either?
So if you don't feel like volunteering would be best for you or maybe works in your life schedule right now, you can always help support CASA by donating. We are always in need of donations to help support our children in foster care, as well as support our volunteers that work tirelessly to help these children. And again, this is a volunteer-driven program, so we really appreciate anyone who can help support us.
Excellent. Sammi, I hope someone who's watching right now will consider taking part in being a CASA volunteer, or certainly support you all at however that they may be able to. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure.